Got it
Okay,
here.
all right,
Not
guys.
echo
So
anymore.
we're super excited to do our second podcast. We did one 2 weeks ago, which I thought went extremely well, and we are back. And so we're going to be talking about lots of topics tonight. But first, I do want to introduce you to our two co-hosts here. So we've got Obelisk Blue 13. You guys know him very well from our tournaments. He's a regular guest on the Twitch channel here, and the podcast was his idea, and I definitely enjoy it. And so we're real happy to have him. And guys, his channel here is Golden Lord Yugioh, and he does box openings, deck profiles. He's definitely one to check out. I still have to see his latest one here, but he is just awesome to watch, and I'm sure you guys will enjoy his channel. So, Obelisk Blue, we're very happy to have you back this week.
Thank you. I'm excited to talk about all the great news that we found out about this week. So I'm really excited.
Awesome, awesome. And our next guest here is Shadow Muse 7. If you guys have been listening to the tournaments here recently, he's even got some co-commentary in with me, which I have definitely enjoyed. He is definitely a silly guy. I enjoy his humor, and I really enjoy the deck building that he does as well. He is a very unique duelist, and he's got all kinds of content that's just not Yu-Gi-Oh! He does Pokemon. He also does Minecraft. So please give him a follow as well. And Shadow Mew, thank you for filling in on such short notice. We're glad you're here.
No problem. I enjoy sharing my extreme goofiness as well as being able to think of things that most people wouldn't pretty much associate with half the cards that have been out.
Yes, and I love that. I really enjoyed the Banish deck that Metaphys, right, that you played against me last night. That was pretty fun. So it was interesting. Oh, and Obelisk Blue 13, congrats to you on getting that win. The Weather Painter deck was very well put together.
Thank you so much. I really thought that the pot cards in general would be super strong in this kind of format, and a lot of the pot cards banished for cost, and so weathers really don't care about being banished. And if I was going to banish half my deck, I decided to play a little Grand Maju engine, and I think that really paid off.
And it absolutely paid off. I thought that was pretty interesting. So, guys, we're going to go ahead and get into it here. So the first thing I wanted to talk about is the Egyptian God support. They have two really solid cards that are both quick effects that I think are just phenomenal. So the first one I want to talk about is Exchanging Souls. This is Stormforth on steroids. Because during the main phase, immediately after the card is able to resolve, you contribute your monsters or your opponent's monsters to summon one of the Divine Beast cards. I think that is absolutely phenomenal. What do you guys think in terms of play? Are we going to see this a lot?
In terms of competitive play, I don't think the Egyptian, as currently constituted, even with all this support, I don't think the Egyptian Gods are going to be tier 1. But if you're talking about this piece of support being played in an Egyptian God-based deck, absolutely. This card is a 3 of in any Egyptian God-based deck.
Absolutely, absolutely. Shadow Mew, I know you, like you said, you enjoy that casual side of things. Do you think you're going to see this a lot?
In a casual deck, you'll definitely see the Exchanging Souls card just because it gets around unaffected cards and everything. Because it doesn't have anything like the one Monarch card that lets you tribute a monster on your opponent's side of the field. That's still affecting them. This is your tribute summoning them. So it is effectively a kaiju for the Egyptian Gods.
Nice, okay.
That isn't sphere mode.
Yeah, interesting. Yes, I like the way that you put that, absolutely. I was pretty hype when I saw it, just because I make cheap decks for my students, and I thought, oh, this gives them at least a fighting chance if they can force someone's negate, then they could possibly resolve something like this. So, yeah, casually, I think this is definitely going to be very useful. And going into the next card now, you have Thunder Force Attack. And this one involves Slifer the Sky Dragon. And in the card, I'm going to read it to you guys because this is just amazing. I do like that both cards, you can only activate them once per turn. So I do think it's a good check, because both cards say you can only activate one card with this card's name once per turn. So I do like that, but here's how the card reads. If you control a monster whose original name is Slifer the Sky Dragon, destroy as many face-up monsters your opponent currently controls as possible, and if the card was activated during your main phase, you can draw cards equal to the number of monsters destroyed and sent to your opponent's graveyard by this effect. So, if they have a field of 6, could you imagine drawing 6 cards? I mean, would that not be absolutely phenomenal if you could pull something like that off?
Oh, for sure. I really, really like this card for so many reasons. So obviously, it's a quick play disruption. It's a quick play destruction, either on your turn or on your opponent's turn. So instantly, that's amazing.
Yes.
Then you get, like you said, you get the draw, and since you have to have Slifer to activate this card, that makes it even more impressive because essentially whatever you draw, even if you draw, say, a dead card, it still gives Slifer attack. So it's absolutely amazing because at the very least, you're getting rid of your opponent's monsters and you're boosting your monster's attack for a potential OTK. So in terms of like support cards, I think this is definitely, I don't want to say the better one, but this one definitely really, really scary in my opinion.
Oh, I agree. Shadow Mew, do you think you're going to find some duelists that are going to find a way to really surprise some people putting this into a deck that would be, just very roguelike? Do you think you're going to see anything like that?
Well, let's see. If you were to use it with Exchanging of Souls, you would be able to get a Slifer out turn 1, but then the problem would be that it would have less monsters for you to draw.
I thought that too. Yep.
And then there's also the fact of cards that are unaffected or cannot be destroyed by card effect, which is what Exchanging of Souls could get rid of.
Right. Absolutely.
If it is able to resolve and get even 2 monsters out, it's literally just a pot with Dark Hole attached to it.
Okay, yeah, that's a good way to look at it. Absolutely.
That can't be stopped either.
Right, yeah. I mean, the idea that possibly you could end up pulling this off, especially if your opponent's playing, like, let's say we were doing a tournament like we did last night, casuals. I mean, if you pop their entire field, how awesome would that be to get that draw 5? I think it's a good card. I like the support from Konami. I think they're definitely going in the right direction because I know they like to try and support the old archetypes or the cards that were very popular from the original anime. And I think this is a good step, not focusing on Dark Magician and just Blue Eyes. So I think that's good.
Yeah. Do you also have the Obelisk one on here?
I do not. I thought about putting that one in, the one where the art's where he's smashing the ground. I do not have that in, though. Thoughts that you have about that?
Well, its effects is pretty wild because when I looked at it, it says you negate one effect, destroy that one effect of a negate the effects of one effect monster an opponent controls, destroy it, and all those effects are negated, which is just wild, as well as any card that has the exact same effects. And if it's during your main phase, you just destroy all of their spells and traps also.
Yes, if the spells and traps are there, yes. I thought that was pretty interesting too. So I do like those kind of cards where if it gets popped, it has a second effect. So I do like it when they make cards like that. I think it's a step in the right direction for sure. Okay, let's move on to the structure deck that's coming up here that we're going to be... Oh, yes, please. Go ahead.
Something I just wanted to mention about that Obelisk card is it's called, in the OCG, it's called God Hand Crusher.
Okay.
And in the PCG, it's going to be called Fist of Fate. And that's the name of the attack that Obelisk used in the anime. So that's a really nice homage to the anime.
That's awesome. Awesome. See, again, that's a step in the right direction when they give the throwback. I absolutely love it. That is fantastic. All right, so the new structure deck that's coming out, we got some piece of news here that I thought was pretty interesting, and it's the trap card that's going to be hitting called Pulse of Trishula. And I thought it was interesting that they took basically the effects of the Synchro monster of Trish and applied it to a trap. So if you guys don't know here, it says apply these effects in sequence based on the number of ice barrier synchro monsters with different names you control. 1+, banish one card your opponent controls. 2+, banish one card from your opponent's graveyard. And then 3+, banish one random card in your opponent's hand. Starting with you, Shadow Mew, do you like it? Do you think it's going to be too slow? What are your thoughts on that trap?
Well, going first, if you're going first and you have 3 out, you have this set. That is an incredibly good card because no matter what deck you're going against, you're going to rip something out of their hand, get rid of the thing they just summoned. You can stop them before they do something with that alone because it's a synchro deck. You're going to have a lot of synchro summons probably out on the first turn.
Absolutely. Carlos, how often do you feel that you're going to see this as well?
All right, so I wanted to respond because I've actually been playtesting the Ice Barrier structure.
Okay.
Ice Barriers are one of my favorite casual decks I recently to pick up, and Ice Barriers can definitely not spam out synchros. They are really, really slow. That's something, unfortunately, that Konami was trying to kind of like fix with this structure deck, but they didn't do a really good job. They gave them a really great starter in the level 4 water, but and then they give them a nice level 1 tuner that can modulate its level, which is pretty nice. And then the new synchro that they got is ridiculously strong, the level 11.
Yes.
But like you're pretty much never wanting to go first with this deck. It's a complete going second deck because if you go second, you can summon the new 11, the level 11 synchro, and you can banish 3 of the cards they control. So I just wanted to, I just wanted to, and it's 3 cards from their field, so that's pretty awesome.
Ooh, does it target?
I'm not sure. I don't think it targets.
Oh my gosh, that is downright scary.
I saved all the cards to a list in preparation just because I didn't know any of them beforehand. Let's go see if it is a targeted effect.
Yes, because I'm curious myself if it is there. That's quite scary.
So while you look that up, so that's pretty much your best play, and it's going second. This card is good, like going first if you summon a Trish. And then you could set this on top of that. You get an additional banish, but once again, like if you're going first, summoning a Trish wouldn't really give you maximum value because you would only get a rip from your opponent's hand. And it kind of sucks when you could summon it going second and you could get maximum value from it. This trap. So in that sense, I don't really like this trap because it's a going first card when the deck inherently wants to go second.
Gotcha, that makes sense.
I think the effect of the trap itself is really strong, and if they can give I do want to say if they can give them a new synchro monster, like maybe a going first synchro monster that can maybe set up a negation, or if they can give them just more ways to spam out synchro monsters on the first turn, I think this card would be really good.
Yeah. One thing that worries me, though, what if for some reason, because I've seen people pull out 3 Trishes. Is it limited to 1, that card?
Yeah, it got limited to 1 again.
Okay, that's what I was thinking, because I've seen people pull out 3 before.
Something else I wanted to mention real quick.
Yeah, go right ahead.
Talking about the trap. In the trap artwork, that's actually DeLorean, and he's fighting Trishula. Because Trishula is actually being infected by the Eye Swarm virus, which is the Evil Swarm virus. And I believe Trishula becomes Evil Swarm Ouroboros. And so that is Evil Swarm Ouroboros in the artwork.
That's awesome. I am a huge fan of other cards being in the art. I love it when they do that. So pretty excited about that.
So it says, when this card is synchro summoned, you can banish up to 3 cards your opponent controls. It doesn't say target.
See, that's why I said this deck is super good at going.
That's a nightmare situation.
Now,
why does Konami do this? Why?
A more nightmare situation is that this is a generic synchro.
Oh my gosh! So there's going to be tons of people that will use this. Oh, that's scary. Okay, speaking of scary, I noticed that Konami has a trend that when they are thinking about removing cards from the ban list, they put them in structure decks. are we going to see Vanity's emptiness come off?
Is it in this?
Not.
Yeah. Okay. Now. Okay. So let's talk about that. So Carlos, why do you think it's not coming off?
I think this is just one of those things where this is the OCG list, and the OCG list, as we've seen very, very recently, the OCG list is subject to change for the TCG. Like the Charmer structure deck where they took out evenly matched.
Yeah. That was so crazy.
They take out things very, very often, especially ban cards. I think as recently as the if I'm not mistaken, I think the Endymion structure deck in the OCG had Fairy Tale Sleeper. One of the structure decks had Fairy Tale Sleeper, the ban card, and they took it out for one of the other Fairy Tales. So this happens all the time where the OCG has cards that aren't banned and they get put in their structure deck, and the TCG never receives those.
Interesting. Shadow Mew, your perspective.
If Vanity's emptiness were to actually be taken off, they would not put that at any more than one. It would be one always if they were to take it off.
Yeah, I agree. I think it'd be stuck at one. Too good of a card. Yeah, absolutely. It's too good. Absolutely. I completely agree. I just thought it was interesting that they had it included so far. And guys, we will keep you updated if there is a change because we ended up, instead of getting evenly matched, we assume it was the Solemn Warning in the most recent structure deck for the Spirit Charmers. So we'll keep you guys posted on that. Now, moving on here, we've got the Selection 10 set, and it's going to be a 50-card set, 5 cards per pack. And so there's going to be Supers, Ultras, and a few Secrets, if I'm not mistaken. And one of the big cards I saw that caused quite a bit of fuss was the Nekroz boss monster. So I'm very curious, Carlos, how do you feel about this card? Do you think it's going to be used heavily by Nekroz players?
Okay, so I have to preface this by saying I haven't ever played Nekroz super extensively. I know what the deck does, though, and I've played against it. I think this card's really good. The first effect says you can discard this card, contribute up to 2 Nekroz monsters from your hand and or field, and if you do, send the same number of Nekroz cards from your deck to the graveyard.
Yeah.
That's quite a steep cost. But I'm pretty sure most of the Nekroz ritual spells have graveyard effects.
Yes, they search off those. Yeah, they do things by going to the grave. Absolutely.
So that first effect might be good. It's just it's a lot. It's quite a steep cost.
Mm-hmm.
The second effect is where this card really shines.
Yes.
It says when a monster effect is activated, quick effect, you contribute 1 monster from your hand or field, negate the activation, and if you do, banish that card. So this is awesome because it gives Nekroz a going first play. You can kind of set this on the field. Maybe if you're playing Floodgates, you can also set your Floodgates and try to get to your turn. So you can use like the Nekroz of Brionic to bounce your opponent's stuff, or you can use Nekroz of Trishula to banish them. So I really like this card in the sense that it gives Nekroz a going first option, and that's always good where decks are versatile. So
absolutely.
I like it.
Shadow Mew, do you think that this is going to change the amount of play that Nekroz has been seeing from players? Do you think it's going to go up with this kind of boss monster?
Well, seeing as how they have Unicorn back up to, I think, 3 now, and now they have an onboard negate card, and the fact that it can do the graveyard shenanigans a lot easier, it's 100% going to see up to always 3 of this.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's a game changer for that deck. Nekroz is a pretty solid deck as it is, and this just really brings it up to speed in 2020. So I think that was a pretty good card for them to put in. Another card. Oh, sorry. So go ahead.
Yeah, once again, it's also a good job of Konami tying in lures because that the monster that is on. So the Nekroz monster you just said, what was his name? The one, is that the one with the red hair?
I'm not sure. I know it's the one that says no special summoning from the extra deck.
Yeah.
Okay, well, no, it's not this one. So there's a level, I think it's a level 3 Nekroz that can be attributed. It counts as a whole tribute for the Nekroz monster.
Yes.
I'm actually going to search it up so I don't butcher it. But this card is actually that card in one of the Dragoonity's armor, like its body.
Wow. That is absolutely awesome.
Yeah. So whereas most of the Necros cards before have been taking the ice barrier dragons and kind of slaying them, this one is taking a Dragoonity monster and slaying it. So that's really cool. So and before I stop ranting, the card I'm talking about is Necros of Shuret. This card is Necros of Shuret. After it kills the Dragoonity monster, and the Dragoonity monster's name is I can't even pronounce that, but the Necros card that you see on the screen right now, that name is a Dragoonity monster.
Okay,
so
interesting. I like it, absolutely.
Sure,
so, while looking at the Necros cards, because I have the whole list of 20 of them pulled up, that first effect actually a lot scarier now that I'm looking at this.
Yeah, because they all search. I mean, most of the cards search, if I'm not mistaken.
They all search if tributed, so you're only losing one card in this exchange.
Oh my gosh.
Actually, you're only losing the ritual monster in this exchange to just search your deck for anything you want.
Oh, and see, that to me is what makes it really good. It gets it going. Because when I face Necros online, they're constantly getting rid of cards to the grave. And with Necros too, they have that card. It's a fairy, and if you have 4 fairies, you can't special. You guys know which one I'm talking about?
Yeah.
4 in the grave.
Are you talking about? Oh, I know which one you're talking about. Oh, damn.
I'm trying to remember what it is, but it's very difficult to get around that. And you put this on the field with it. Oh gosh, it's going to be rough.
So I read through all the spells now, and yeah, this card is going to just power boost them way farther beyond. Because the cards you would send would be the ritual spells themselves. Because if you control no monsters, they say you banish this and 1 Necros monster to add any Necros spell from your deck to your hand.
Oh gosh! Oh my god!
So Chrono, the card you're talking about is Archlord Christie.
Yes, sure. That's the one. Thank you.
And the reason that this is so scary as well is because there's a Necros, if I believe correctly, there's a Necros ritual that I can actually ritual summon while the card's in the graveyard.
Oh gosh. Okay, I haven't ran into that yet, but that's absolutely frightening. So to me, that's a definite concern, but it does make the deck more powerful, especially to compete with some of these higher tier decks. That gives ritual players something to definitely play around with and have some fun with. Let's go ahead now and go into the next card here. It's Heretic, but it's very generic. And I feel this Xyz monster is a great... I really don't think they want us stopping hand traps. So let's go ahead and take a look at this, even though they took Call by the Grave down to 1. But if you look at this card, it says it's 2 level 8 monsters to Xyz summon it. When your opponent activates a card or effect that targets cards among your cards on the field, in your graveyard, and in your banished cards, quick effect, detach 1 material from this card, negate the activation. If you do, destroy the card. So if I'm understanding this correctly, guys, if someone, let's say they tries to DD Crow something that I'm doing with a hand trap, could you just detach this and stop that? Will that stop that from going through?
Yes.
Oh gosh. So yeah, the interruption here is quite scary to me. And I feel with decks that have big monsters, like a Blue Eyes deck that's level 8s for sure. I know Monarchs, if they decided to play an extra deck, they could. They have level 8s. What kind of decks do you think this might be played in with the requirement of 2 level 8s? Or could we see a rank up strategy possibly be used to try and get this out?
Blue Eyes would probably be the more common one, just because it is a light dragon.
Yes.
And that's their shtick. But also Photon could do it because they all spam out level 8s, the rank 8 rank 8 Xyz anyways, as well as Heraldics, because they also special summon themselves. And if you really wanted to try to push this into a deck, you could throw it in gimmick puppets.
Oh, you could. Carlos, let's talk about that. That's your bread and butter on the Switch game. So, what do you think about that?
Well, first of all, this card's not coming to the Switch because they don't update their Switch game often. So you hear me, Konami? If you guys are here listening to this, update your Switch game more often.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
That goes for all the games. I'm tired of buying the same game over and over again to unlock the cards. Just update the games for us. We'll pay for the content.
Wasn't like the last update that they did was like up to Savage Strike and that was it?
Yeah, it's terrible. I mean, and it's got the wackiest ban list ever. I mean, it's stuck forever in that mode.
But it has the combination ban list of TCG and OCG.
Yes, it's weird. It's like going to Worlds or something every time you're playing on that. So Carlos, though, do you think Gimmick Puppets could make use of this card, knowing that you know the deck so well?
I mean, any rank 8 spam deck could technically use this because it's generic. But personally, how I feel about the card, I don't really think it's that good because a lot of the cards in Yu-Gi-Oh nowadays don't really target. You know what I mean?
I do get that. I thought that because it does target. Yep. And
you're like, it's a very, very specific kind of thing that you would be preventing. I feel like it's too specific in what it stops. If it was a little bit more generic and it stopped like, say, any of your opponent's monster effects, I think it would be good in that case. But since it only stops targeting, it's a little bit limited in what it does. But I mean, it's a nice little card for the deck. I think the hieratic card that's actually more impressive from this set is I think they actually have a different Xyz from this set.
Oh, really? Okay, I have not seen that yet. Okay.
I can attempt to find it.
Yeah, and I think that one's actually a little bit more better. And then something else I did want to mention too. So we're talking about this set, Selection 10. If I'm not mistaken, this set is actually going to be the Ghost of the Past set for us.
Oh, is it really? Oh, yes. I'm excited about that. Okay, continue on that thought.
Exactly. So some of these cards might come in Ghost Rare, which, oh my god, that'd be awesome.
Yes, I'm a huge fan of Ghost Rare. I love it whenever I find it. I don't know why they ever stopped making those because I think they're fantastic. I know they've recently been bringing them back. But to hear that this might be that set, I'll be buying lots just to get a chance to get one. I really want those cards. But anyways, keep going.
They did not make another Xyz monster. However, they did give them a new spell card.
Okay.
What does the spell card do?
It is Heretic Seal of Creation. Target one Dragon Xyz monster you control. Special summon from your deck any Heretic Xyz monster with a different name from the monster you control by using it as material. You can then banish this card to target one Heretic monster in your graveyard as special summon in defense mode.
Okay, this is the card I was thinking about. This card is absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, that's a little dumb. You can only use one effect per turn, but that's still that's so good.
So what it is first of all, any Dragon Xyz monster you control, which any deck can play Dragon Xyz. You know what I mean? Like if you have 2 level 8s, you can just go into generic Dragon Xyz. You can activate this and then just spam out one hieratic XYZ monster, and the overlay units are transferred, which is really, really awesome.
Wow!
And then if you're playing a pure hieratic deck, or if you're splashing hieratics, it has great recursion because it acts as a monster reborn on the next turn, which is just really amazing. So this card, I think, is actually the more impressive cards for hieratic, and I think this card's going to see tons of play in that deck.
Nice.
Not to mention, if you were to do a rank up spam deck, you could just put any really low level Xyz Dragon monster out because those are a lot easier to summon.
Yes.
And just go straight up to a rank 8.
Nice. Oh man. Are we going to possibly see that spell just put into other engines just because it can easily get out an Xyz monster?
Well, it has to be a hieratic XYZ, so that's the limitation of it. But
the target doesn't have to be hieratic.
Yeah, the target doesn't have to be hieratic. So, like, it would, if they come out with a new hieratic Xyz monster that's absolutely broken, it would be really, really crazy. I think the one really good hieratic card is Hieratic Sun Dragon Overlord of Helapis. It says once per turn you can detach one Xyz material from this card, tribute any number of monsters from your hand, enter side of the field, then destroy that number of cards on the field.
Right,
So
and that's a great card. Yes.
So, Obelisk, I have a question for you regarding that card specifically, because I have it pulled up and I just put 2 and 2 together in my head.
I were you thinking about the synergy between the Necros cards?
Yes.
Contributing?
Yes.
You would have to find some really, really cheesy way to go into a Dragon XCs with Necros and then use that card specifically to rank up into that one to tribute to get searches. It sounds
my
very,
god.
It could potentially be an engine in Necros.
Woo!
There are a lot of well, here's an easy one. Dark Rebellion Xyz Dragon, level 4.
Oh my goodness.
No, well, technically, you wouldn't have to use the Necros monsters to do it. You would just need any monster that could get you into an Xyz, Dragon Xyz, and then have it.
I think the only thing about that is that I don't think Necros are known for like spamming the monsters with the same levels, so it might be hard for them to go into Xyz. But if I think just more in general, like if they come out with a broken hieratic card in the future, this card is gonna be a problem.
Oh yeah. Oh my goodness. Wow.
Just throw Kage Tokage in the deck.
Wow. Guys,
the level 4.
that was pretty impressive. I didn't even think about this Necros synergy, and you guys got it no problem. That was amazing. Let's move on now to the fairy tale support. Do you think that this is any good? The monster that they've got, when it's normal summoned, you can have your opponent gain 500 life points, then have them look at the top 3 cards of their deck and choose one of them for you to add to your hand, then shuffle the rest back into the deck. Shadow Mew, what do you think about that?
That is 100% a stupidly good card.
I thought that as well.
not even saying what you could have pull out of that. Just the fact that you can just, like, let's say they have a one-off of any card in their deck, and you just take it without knowing it. Their engine could just falter immediately on their turn.
Yes, absolutely. I was thinking the same thing.
Actually, it's have them look at the top 3 cards of your deck, and they get to
your deck. Oh. I thought it was your okay, never mind. I thought it was their deck. Oh my goodness. Sorry guys, I misread that. Okay. That is my fault. Okay, so now that we
it's still really good though, in my opinion, because basically you give them 500 life points, which is almost nothing, and then they give you like you're guaranteed to get 1 resource from your deck.
Yeah, which I do like that. I think that's pretty good. It's kind of like Pot of Duality in a way, but it doesn't limit you from from specialing. So I did like the effect. I think it's a pretty good effect.
And it has no risk either, because as soon as battle is declared on it, it will send itself to the graveyard, and that monster no longer can attack.
Yes, and so it's a pretty good card. I feel I did like the support that they give, because the fairy tale monsters are all very tricky to deal with too. So with Shadow Mew, I've seen you use some of these before. It's
yeah. You talking about Fairy Tale Luna and how I bounced my own kaiju so I could kaiju his monster?
Yes, I thought, that is so smart. And so I can see you utilizing something like this in some sort of deck that you might create.
Pure fairy tale.
All right, let's look at the continuous spell now. I thought this was pretty decent support for Fairy Tale 2, where it says you can reveal 1 spellcaster monster in your hand that has 1850 attack and a name different from the face-up monster you control. Immediately after this effect, normal summon or set that monster. Or 2, each turn the first time you would take battle or effect damage while you control a spellcaster monster with 1850 original attack, you do not. What are your thoughts on that, especially getting an extra normal summon in?
So you can't convince me that this card is not secretly a Charmer support card.
Oh, I know. I thought about that, Carlos. I thought it synced with that. Yeah, expand on that a little bit.
Yeah, so all the Charmers have 1850 attack, and they basically don't have a way to get multiple monsters on the field in terms of just the Charmers by themselves. So this card is amazing in Charmers because you can just like reveal one Charmer you control, and then get an additional normal summon. So that's awesome in the deck.
Yeah, I agree. Shadow Mew, you said you'd play Pure Fairy Tales. Do you like the card?
Yes, not with just with the Charmers, but you could potentially just mix them both together in that regard, and you would have a very tricky deck to get around.
Yes,
because you could be setting a Fairy Tale, or you could be setting a Charmer.
Oh, good point. Yes, very good point. I like that. Very true. Very true. All right, so I thought that was good support. And again, I like seeing Konami supporting different archetypes. I think that's so good, especially ones from the past. I like when they're doing that. Now, it's almost Christmas time. We put up our Christmas decorations in the house today. The kids loved it. My wife was excited. Of course, the lights aren't working. We have to go get new ones. But I thought this was interesting that this is coming out in the OCG on December 5th. And the archetype is titled Holy Night. I am wondering, is this somehow connected to the birth of Christ? It's
Actually,
100%.
This archetype actually is based on that.
Oh, you're kidding me. That is something else. Okay, that's too funny. Because when I saw Holy Night, I thought, and it's in December, like, no. It's that kind of makes me laugh here. So looking at the archetype, it seems to revolve around this level 7 monster here on the right. And it does have some very interesting effects here. So I'm going to read this for everyone so if you don't know what we're talking about. If this card is normal or specialed from your hand, you can target one card on the field and destroy it. Cannot be destroyed by a battle with a dark monster. Cannot be destroyed by a dark monster's effects. Now, this is the part I thought was interesting. Once per turn at the start of the damage step, when this card attacks an opponent's monster, you can banish that opponent's monster until the end phase. Also, this card can make one more attack in a row. So, if I'm thinking, this reminds me of the Xyz monster that's 2 level 7s. It's used in Dark Magicians a lot. Oh, what'd you say, Shadow?
I think you're thinking of the wrong card, or this might be the same one, but it's Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon.
No, I wasn't thinking of that one. This one is some Ebone Magician or something. I'm not sure what it is, but you detach one, you get out the normal monster. Which one?
I think it's Ebon High Magician.
That's the one I'm thinking of, because when you attack at the start of the damage step, you banish a card, but you get a replay because your attack hasn't gone through. So is this card able to attack twice, basically? Does that make sense? The banish effect would happen first.
So yeah, this card can attack twice. So
okay. That's what I was thinking.
It banishes the monster and then it attacks again. But unfortunately, it can't attack a monster, banish it, attack another monster, and banish it, and keep doing that.
Right.
It has to be one banish.
Just one banish. And to me, that's actually pretty good, but it only has 2,500 attack, so I'm not sure how good I would say that is just yet.
So, from reading that card, I would say that this card is the answer to everyone who is complaining about Dark Dragoon, because it literally perfectly counters it.
Oh, okay. Expand on that.
So, first off, Dark Dragoon is a dark monster. It can't be destroyed by battle with it, but it also can't be destroyed by Dragoon's effect.
Oh, that makes complete sense. Okay.
Then, with its other effects, first off, you'd have to bait their negate out. By the start of the damage step, you will banish Dragoon, and it'll come back. But then it loses its destruction ability because it was no longer fusion summoned.
Oh my gosh! Wow, is that interesting. Carlos, your thoughts?
Yeah, so I don't think this is this is like I don't think they had Dragoon in mind when they were designing this card. Only because the OCG has Dragoon banned. So
Yes.
I think this is more just them designing a card. Something I did want to point out is this dragon right here. The dragon shining on the Holy Knight is actually a retrain of an old Yu-Gi-Oh card.
Oh, really? What is that?
Yes. It is called. Give me a second, because I'm.
Kind of looks like Luster Dragon.
I'm gonna butcher this name.
I thought Luster Dragon too, and you said that. That does make sense.
Spelled SEI. So let's see if we can pronounce this. SEIYA RYU. See, can you search that up real quick?
Oh.
Sayaruya.
There we go. Shadow me with the pronunciations.
So this is an old Yu-Gi-Oh card, and the name of this Yu-Gi-Oh card was roughly translated. It roughly translated to Holy Night Dragon, and so it was actually the counterpart to Serpent Night Dragon.
Oh,
and so they decided to retrain that card based on its translation of its name into a whole holy archetype.
Oh, and that is so cool.
It's essentially the same thing they did with Thunder Dragon.
Okay. I like
so
it
now
though.
That I'm done talking about the lore, I can talk about the actual card itself.
Oh, you go right ahead. You're fine. I find this very interesting because I don't know this.
Absolutely, me too. I love these kinds of facts. So, I think the bread and the butter of this deck is you want to spam out this card as much as possible.
Yeah.
Because the effect where it's normal or special summon to target a card in the field, destroy it. It's not a once per turn or a hard once per turn. So you can like if a lot of the cards in this archetype have effects that they can bounce this card back to the hand.
Yes, back and forth. Yeah. Oh wow, I didn't even think about that. Wow.
So the playstyle of this deck is it really wants to banish this card, or not banish this card. It really wants to bounce this card back to the hand and special summon it as many times as possible, so you can get a lot of pops on your opponent's turn or on your turn. Something else I find cool is this deck can spam out any level 7 light dragon.
Yes.
So it can also spam out Arcbrave dragon.
I was just going to mention that Arcbrave is one of the cards I thought about when I was thinking of level 7s. And Arcbrave is really good because if it's specialed, it pops spells and traps, correct? Or does it have to be from the graveyard?
I'm not sure off the top of my head. Let me pull up the card.
But as you're doing that, that was one that I thought about. And like Carlos or Obelisk Blue just said there, the deck is all about bouncing level 7s back to your hand or back to the field. And so the traps actually do that quite a bit. While he's looking at look at that real quick.
So,
you have it?
Arcbrave has to be special summoned from the graveyard.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. I thought it had to come from the grave. Let's look real quick at the field spell here. Because when I was reading through the different cards, it kind of reminded me of Trickstars. Because you've got your normal summon that gets you going, that can get you the field spell. And the same thing happens with the Holy Knight archetype. You've got a normal summon that's key. It gets you any spell or trap, and then looking at the field spell here, I think it can definitely put in some work. So notice it says, during your main phase, you can normal summon one Holy Knight monster or one level 7 light dragon monster in addition to your normal summoner set. You can only gain this effect once per turn. If a face-up level 7 light dragon monster you control is returned to the hand during your turn, you get to draw one card. And you do have to choose which effect you decide to activate, just like you do with some other field spells. I think that's actually pretty good, the fact that you can get the normal off. I think that could definitely put in some work. What are your thoughts on that, Shadow Mew? What do you think?
The fact that you get another normal summon is really good because I have all the knights pulled up to the side. There's 3 of them.
Yes.
That all quick effect, tribute, quick when the monster declares an attack, do this. And when the other one's normal summon starts to spell a trap.
Right.
That's really good. Now you're not going to be normal summoning the level 7. That's not going to happen with this deck.
Oh, you don't think it will?
No,
Ideally, what you want to do is you want to have it in your hand, and then there's I believe one of the knights contribute itself to special summon the level 7. I think it's a quick effect.
Okay, okay. Let me pull that up because I do have them here. Let's see. Yeah, so it's the Holy Knight Astil, or Astil. I'm not sure how you say it. It says.
Astil and Flamel both do it.
Oh, say it again.
Astil and Flamel both do special summoning of the big boy.
Awesome. So notice you can get that out and then tribute, and then I believe they even have grave effects though. Yeah, so for the one that we just mentioned, you can banish this card from your graveyard, then target one level 7 light dragon monster you control. It gains 1000 attack until the end of your opponent's turn. The other one, Flammel here, you can banish this card from your graveyard, target one level 7 light dragon monster you control or have in the graveyard, and return it to the hand. So it gives you that protection.
I do like Estelle better just because it has the quick effect that you contribute it to special summon the dragon, whereas Holy Knight Flamel or Flamel requires your opponent to attack, and I feel like your opponent would probably get rid of this before they even declared an attack.
Yeah, absolutely.
Effect going off. So I like Estelle a lot more than I like the other one, and hopefully this isn't it for the monsters. I feel like it has potential.
Yes.
I want them to do a couple of more reveals.
I completely agree.
With Flamel, it's a hand trap, and the first effect also. You can hold it onto your hand and not just have it on the field.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That's actually really good. Wow.
So that does make it better. Although I do want to say against some decks, like a lot of the combo decks, build up negations before they attack. So I still feel like it's very susceptible to like being negated.
Right.
I feel like you would normal summon Astel, wait till they had a negate out, and then instantly try to pop it, where they would be forced to negate it or just let it go through.
Yeah.
Well, Estelle would probably be used to before they even get a chance to bring out a negation. Like say they were going into needle fiber, you would probably pop the needle fiber there to just stop their play.
Yeah.
And then like if they were attacking directly, the idea would be if you have a way to get the dragon back to the hand, so my thought of this is Estelle is used to stop the combo from starting, and once you have the combo stopped and they can't build a negation, if they attack directly, you can use the other one as a kind of like cleaner up on their turn.
Well, with Flamel, if you use Estelle to immediately pop their one, and then you go back to you can immediately use Flamel. It's banished. You can banish Flamel from your graveyard to just immediately bounce it back to your hands and wait till they go to declare an attack if they try to.
Can you repeat that?
So Astel, you would stop their Halki Fibrax, and let's say they try to go through with an attack play. You could banish Flamel from your graveyard if it's there right then, return it back to your hand, and if you have another one in your hands, they go to attack, you can just summon them back out again.
That is a nice interaction, but you have to have Flamel in your graveyard already, and then you also have to have they don't have to have a way to stop this for it to be strong. I like Estelle a lot more than I like Flamel. Flamel's cute and all. I think Estelle's probably going to be the bread and butter for that.
If you go back, Chronos,
yes,
to the other
I
two
will.
Cards that you had on screen.
Yeah. No, you're perfectly fine.
The trap is really interesting as well.
It is. I like the trap where it says when an opponent's card or effect is activated, return one level 7 light dragon monster you control to the hand, negate the effect, and if you do, destroy it.
That is something that most of these kinds of decks don't actually get on release, is a negate that just fuels that engine. Not to mention, if you have the field spell, you're also drawing because it got bounced.
Oh, wait, say that again. Say that again, Shadow.
Since you're bouncing it back to your hands, the field spell would then immediately let you draw a card.
Oh, you're right. I didn't even think about that interaction. Oh, that's good.
Can you go back to the field spell?
Oh, say that again.
I said, can you go back to the field spell?
I sure can. Absolutely, yes.
This is an archetype I'm very interested in. So I want to like get all the niches of the interactions down packed. If a face up level 7 you control is. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, you do
Yeah.
get a draw.
That's
That is
awesome.
nice.
I would say that the Holy Knight deck in itself, it doesn't feel like a competitive deck. It feels more like a roguelike anti-meta deck.
I have that feel too, at least so far. Like Carlos was saying, are we going to get more support? I'm assuming there's going to be more monsters. I just don't know what they'll be just yet. So far, this is all the information we have.
If you did you have the other spell card?
I do, yeah. So if we take a look here,
it's actually 2.
Yeah.
If we go over here, so we've got Holy Knight Nativity. And again, I like that there's 2 effects you get to choose here. So during your main phase, you can reveal 1 light fairy monster from your hand. And if you do, add 1 level light dragon monster from your deck to your hand. Then place the revealed card on the bottom of the deck. If your opponent activates a card or an effect, you can special 1 level 7 light dragon monster from your hand. And this is a continuous spell card, so it's going to be on the field. The trap is the same way. It's a continuous trap. During the main phase, you can activate 1 of these effects. Target 1 level 7 dragon monster you control, return it to the hand. If you have the field spell out, you get that draw. And then special summon, or you could special summon 1 level 7 light dragon monster from your hand. So you get both here depending on your situation.
So I want to start off with the continuous spell. So the reason why I think this archetype might actually get more support cards is because if you look at the continuous spell, there's actually 2 additional Holy Knights in the background that are blurred out that could potentially mean they have room for 2 more monsters in the archetype.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. I could see that.
Something else I wanted to talk about is Holy Knight Nativity. Nativity actually comes from the Latin word natal, which means birth, and the Nativity play actually is a reference to the birth of Jesus Christ.
Yes.
And how Mary and Joseph were visited by the shepherds and wise men.
Yes.
So this scene has religious connotation like splashed all over this card.
Yeah.
So I think they might change the name, but I really do like the story that they're trying to tell with this.
They are birthing a dragon.
Yeah, I really like the idea that they're giving some honor to Christ here. As a Christian, I'm actually pretty excited about that. So I'll probably be picking this up just because I love Jesus. So I'm all for this kind of stuff. So I think that's pretty cool. Shadow Mew, your thoughts?
So the trap is just 10 out of 10. That is going to be a 3 of in this deck at best. Because it's going to feed the engine either way. You're going to either bounce it or special summon it.
Yeah.
But it's the continuous spell that is really interesting because during your main phase, you get a search out card. But it says you can only use these effects once per turn and only once that turn.
Yes.
But the other effect you're not going to be doing on your turn.
Oh, right. Okay.
So it doesn't matter. You can only do it once per turn.
Yeah.
The other one only needs to happen during their turn.
Because you'll get to get it, because it says if your opponent activates a card or an effect. Yeah. You're absolutely right, because that gives you interaction. Yeah.
I'm actually really liking what they're doing with this deck. I think it's really coming together nicely.
This deck feels like a more updated and polished version of the Phantasmal Spiral archetype I was telling you about the other day.
Yes, yeah. It's funny you say that. When I was doing some research on this, that's what several other duelists were saying. They felt that comparison was pretty logical. So I'm excited to try it out, especially with it being a Holy Knight type of feel. I'm excited. I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
It's actually
something else I wanted to mention. There's a lot of
Oh, you all right?
Yeah, can you guys hear me? Sorry,
I can hear you. Yep.
I unplugged my headphones. I'm sorry.
Oops, that's okay. You're okay.
There's actually continuous. Sorry, I'm so excited. There's actually a continuous spell that lets you special summon a fairy monster from your hand.
Yes. The Hall one, right?
Halls of Valhalla.
Yeah.
Halls of Valhalla. Sorry, I'm so excited. So if you play Halls of Valhalla, you could actually, in theory, special summon one of your Holy Knights from your hand.
Oh, yes.
And you could
and then you get your 2 normal summons. Oh my god.
And then you get an additional normal summon. So there's definitely some cool synergy in this archetype.
I would like to say that you also I don't know if you have it on here, but you're missing one of the spells.
Oh, am I? I think I may be then. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, that's all I had. Yeah.
So this normal spell is called Holy Knight Bellfire. You add 1 Holy Knight or level 7 Light Dragon from your deck to your hand. But then, if your opponent controls a dark monster and you have no monsters, you can special summon a Light Dragon from your hand.
Oh gosh.
Now, something I do like about this archetype too is dark seems to be one of the best. Like it feels like a lot of meta archetypes always play dark just because dark and light are inherently the strongest attributes in Yu-Gi-Oh.
Absolutely, hands down.
Warlord.
Exactly. So this archetype might definitely. I don't want to say it's going to be meta, but it might definitely be a rogue archetype.
It'll be an anti-meta dark rogue deck.
Yes.
Hey, I am all for that. Yeah, because I like rogue. It's probably one of my favorite ways to play. So that's why I'm pretty excited to see this.
I like to say about.
I also really like the idea of like they build a fairy archetype where the whole idea of them is they purge the darkness.
Yeah.
And I think that's just really, really awesome symbolism on Konami's part.
Yeah,
and
I'm all for that. Yes.
I would like to give us that.
I got 2 things I'd like to say first
before
we move on to the next part. Is the spell card doesn't say any specific number any specific requirements for this light dragon you would special summon. It's special summon any light dragon from your hand.
Oh my goodness.
It has to be level 7.
Nope. You can special summon any light dragon.
Oh gosh.
Oh, you're talking about the spell he doesn't have in his hand.
Yes.
He doesn't have on. Okay, well that's cool.
My bad. That's downright scary. Like, what are people gonna put in there? That's awesome.
And then the second thing is that with this deck, I feel like, in case people weren't running dark monsters, because it's obviously people are gonna run Salaman Greats or Crusaders,
right,
other things that aren't dark monsters. This is one of those decks where you would benefit from using all those spells and traps that force an attribute change.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Wow. Because if you could just make them all dark, that would just change the entire duel.
Lair of Darkness, DNA Transplant, I think. Those change the attributes of all monsters on the field.
Oh yeah, Lair of Darkness in this deck's absolutely crazy. I was thinking about that. Lair of Darkness and the strategy is bonkers.
But yes, with the DNA Transplant also, it just makes everything a dark type as well.
Yes.
DNA Transplant is a trap, so it's inherently a little bit slow, but if you wanted to play it as like a 1 or 2 of in this deck, I don't see why. Something I did want to point out too, real quick, is if this set came out in around 2008, it would be absolutely broken. Like if this, if this archetype was, specifically because like it kind of reminds me of like an out to like Phantom Darkness. If like this archetype came out in like a Light of Destruction after Phantom Darkness, this would have been meta for sure.
This would have destroyed everything back then.
There would have been an emergency ban list, I'm sure.
Even if it weren't that early, like let's say it came out in Arc V, Pendulum Dragon wouldn't have been able to touch this.
Oh yeah, because it's all dark. Odd Eyes is dark. Almost everything in there is dark. Yeah, so that would have been a problem.
Pendulum wouldn't have done anything.
Oh, say that again, Shadow.
Pendulum, Magicians, all those cards.
Oh yeah, yeah, they would have been able to do anything.
Everything before Vrains would have had the worst time fighting this because most of those decks were dark metas.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I could definitely see that. All right. Again, I love the discussion, guys. Just so good. Let's now move on to Lightning Overdrive. This is coming out after Selection 10. And this one is going to be much bigger. There's 80 cards, and this is all about support for the Utopia monsters. So again, making sure... I know, I feel like Utopia already has a lot of support, but they're putting more actually in. So let's go ahead and talk about the new Xyz monster. It's a rank 5, requires 3 unless you actually already have one. So Carlos, let's have you talk about this. What do you like? What do you dislike about this card?
Okay, so I'm gonna start off. Blazing Vortex is the next core booster set we're getting, or lightning. Sorry, I put Lightning Vortex.
Oh, you're okay.
Lightning
Lightning Overdrive. You're fine.
It's the next core booster set we're getting after Blazing Vortex, so that's really cool. And like you said, this set has new Utopia cards in it, but more specifically, they're kind of centered towards the Zexal weapon part of his deck.
Yes,
and that's a part that has really been more of a sub engine than an actual engine. So it's cool to see it actually getting support cards. So now that rant is over, let's talk about this card. So it's called Dragonic Utopia Ray. It's a rank 5 Light Warrior Xyz effect monster, 2500, 2000 attack, 3 level 5 monsters.
Yes.
It's always treated as C39 Utopia Ray.
Yes.
Once per turn, when this card is targeted for an attack or by a card effect, you can equip one ZW monster from your hand or deck to this card, as if it was equipped by its own effect. So off the top of my head, that's really good because a lot of the ZW cards kind of give your Xyz monsters protection against something, and they also boost its attack. So that's really good, the first effect. And the second effect says once per turn, you can detach one material from this card, then target face-up cards your opponent controls up to the number of Zexal weapon monsters equipped to this card, negate their effects. So that's really good because all the support cards are kind of centered towards equipping as many ZW monsters as possible onto this. So you could potentially have 3 ZW monsters attached to it, and then you could equip potentially negate 3 of your opponent's monster effects, which I think is really, really.
Now, thinking of that second effect, though, Shadow Me, one of the things that I noticed looking at it, it does target. So, what do you think about its play, knowing that it does have that limitation that it targets the cards first?
So, it's not going to stop Dragoon. That's obvious, but Dragoon would have just blown it up anyways. Other than that, there's not very many cards that actually prevent targeting that have actually hard conditions. Such as the field spell for the Sacred Beasts, it says you can't target them.
Right.
But you can but you can negate everything else they have.
Right.
It's a really good effect because if you have 3 of them, like you said, you can negate any 3 cards. And it doesn't have a turn limit. They will stay negated.
Oh, so it's permanently.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Looking at that first effect, I quickly checked it up. By the way, I have a lot of ZW support that I just pulled up and have all the OCG ones because I was curious. There's a lot of other cards that aren't just this card, but you probably have them up here.
Yeah, so we'll definitely get into those. That's a game changer knowing that it's a permanent effect. Oh my.
My other comment is that first effect is kind of busted.
Okay, explain why you think that. Go ahead.
Because looking at all the ZW cards, they say when you target a number 30 C39 monster you have. This doesn't say an opponent's effect or attack. This just says a card effect.
Oh gosh.
You can equip 2 ZWs at the same time.
Oh my god.
That's the whole point of the new support. The new support is you want to equip as many ZW onto this card as possible and potentially go in for an OTK.
Okay, so now you've got me a little bit more freaked out here, gentlemen. I didn't think this was going to be as bad as I thought it might be.
It's definitely not as bad as it seems. A lot of the cards that we're going to talk about kind of require you to have less than 2,000 life points than your opponent, and that's a really anime-like effect.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they don't have ways to lower your own life points to trigger their bonus effect, so the archetype's probably not going to be too meta.
Yeah, no, and I do get that. Speaking of which, so let's go into some of these other cards now. So, Carlos, I'll let you lead the discussion here. Let's talk about these. Which cards do you really like here? Are both really good?
I definitely did want to talk about this. These two monsters in particular have really good synergy with each other. So the first one is Zextal Server's Arm Sage or ZW Arm Sage. It's a level 4 light warrior monster, so it's a rota target. Same as the other one. You can only use this card's second effect once per turn. So if you control exactly one level 4 monster, except ZW Arm Sage, you can special summon this card from your hand. And a Utopia monster that was XYZ summoned using this card on the field as a material gains this effect. If this is XYZ summon, you can add one ZW monster from your deck to your hand.
Oh,
So
wow.
let's just pause. Let's pause on that effect, and then let's read the second one, and let's decompress them at the same time.
Okay.
The second one is DW Ascend Sage. Level 4 light warrior effect monster, 900 attack, 300 defense. You can only use this card's second effect once per turn. If you control no cards, you can special summon this card from your hand.
Yeah, that's good.
A Utopia monster that was summoned using, or a Utopia Xyz monster that was summoned using this card gains this effect. If it's XYZ summon, you can add one rank up magic normal spell.
Oh
from your
my
deck
gosh. Okay, so already I see why this is so good. Holy moly.
The synergy here is if you have both of these cards in your hand, you can special summon the ZW Ascend Sage, and you can also special summon the ZW Arm Sage because you can only control the Ascend Sage, right?
Yeah.
Then if you overlay into Utopia, both of their effects trigger, and then you get to search a ZW monster, and you get to search a rank up magic normal spell, and they got a new rank up magic normal spell. So literally, these two cards are like a one or a 2 card combo that gets you a Utopia monster and a search of a Zexal weapon monster and a rank up magic spell card.
And that's amazing, especially if you control no cards, you can special summon it starting the chain. Holy moly.
The best thing is if you have both of these cards in your hand, you essentially get a search to a Utopia monster, and you haven't even used your normal summon for the turn yet.
Wow. Wow. Okay, Shadow Mew, thoughts?
Yeah, these cards are going to just be a really good part of the deck. They have really no downsides other than the fact you just summon them out and hope their effects don't get negated.
Yes, yeah.
Well, even if their effects got negated, actually their effects on field getting negated wouldn't matter because the
I mean the adding part.
No, the adding part is it's treated
So how do they chain? I guess that's my question.
Xyz monster gains the effect.
I'm talking like if they just ashed it. That's what I mean.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking there, Shadow. So how it would end up being whatever ends up being chain link 2, right? If they both happen at the same time.
I believe so.
It would just be which one do you want to lose first?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Okay. Yeah, so you still have a way to make it work.
Which is good because you can choose which one you chain first. So you basically get a guaranteed add. On the absolute worst case scenario. On the best case scenario, you get a plus 2.
Wow. That is just phenomenal. Okay, let's now go to the next two. I'll let you continue, Carlos. You definitely know the cards better. So, what are you thinking about these two?
Okay, so these two were a little bit more lackluster to me, but they still have utility in the deck. The first one's Zexal Weapon, Pegasus Twin Saber. It's a level 5 light beast effect monster, 1000 attack, 2100 defense. So it says you can only control one ZW Pegasus Twin Saber. If your opponent's life points are at least 2000 or higher than yours, you can special summon this card from your hand. Personally, don't really like that because there's not a way to lower your own attack point and value in the deck. And so it's very restrictive in my opinion. The third effect is you can target one Utopia monster you control, equip this card you control to that target as an equip spell that gives it 1000 attack. I think that's pretty bad because it doesn't equip from the hand like most of the ZW monsters.
Yeah.
So that sucks. And then once per turn, when this card is equipped to a monster, you can negate any monster effect activated on your opponent's field. I do think that effect's really good. I just think I think this might be a good one of in the deck. Like, if you special summon the level 5, or the rank 5 rather, and it declares an attack, you can equip this from your deck.
From your
to
deck,
it.
yeah, that's what I was just thinking. That's where I
So
could
then
see
you
it being
get a-
useful as a one of.
And then you get a negation. So as a one of, it's not bad. They need to give you more ways to lower your own life points in the deck, which I know sounds a little bit,
Well, I know
mean,
there's ways to make your
random.
life points hot or your opponent's life points higher.
just
Or,
real
yeah.
casual after you do this, you just do a player plant Verte Anaconda, make yourself lose 2,000 life points, but fail to fusion summon.
Shadow Mew with the tech instantly.
Just fail to fusion summon. That's all you have to do.
Or you could use Super Poly and hopefully Super Poly some of their stuff away and then combo off that way.
I'm laughing here because against Shadow Mew, my life points are always 2,000 lower or more. That man always has his life points higher than me, so that would work just fine.
Oh wait, there's a way. It's a slow way, but it's a way.
Yep, absolutely.
No. If you because you could go into the you could go into the Xyz monster beforehand, and then you could wait, actually no, you couldn't use with this. Never mind.
So a different way you could do it is using cards like Reign of Mercy or Gift Card or other things like that.
Yeah,
it's just like the fact that the effect requires your opponent to have 2,000 higher life points than yours is so arbitrary and just not.
Very
really
odd. Yeah, I get that.
Cost down.
So. So the second thing I wanted to talk about, or the second card rather, ZW Dragonic Halberd. It's a rank 5 Dark Dragon XYZ effect monster. 3,000 attack, 2,000 defense. Its materials are 2 level 5 monsters. It cannot attack directly, which I think that's a bit of a weird restriction. Once per turn, you could detach 1 material from this card. We'll add 1 Zexal spell or trap from your deck to the hand, which I think is really good. I just there's not really ways to spam out level 5s in Utopia, so maybe it's not the best card. Yeah, well, the Gaga Guy engine, but then it's like then you're playing like. Then how consistent is your deck if you're playing the ZW and the Gaga Guy engine together?
All right, I got away. It's gonna sound really dumb, but I got away.
Shadow Mew, you cracked me up. Oh my goodness. All right, go ahead.
The third effect is you can target 1 Utopia monster you control. Equip this card you control to that target as an equip spell that gives it 3,000 attack. Good if you're trying to OTK. And then when the equipped monster destroys a monster by battle, you can special summon any number of ZW monsters equipped to the equipped monster. So I think the thought process is they put the cannot attack directly thing because they didn't want you to equip it to a Utopia monster, attack, destroy a monster, and then special summon this, and then just OTK. Super easy.
Okay.
So,
yeah, go ahead, Shadow. What are you thinking there? I'm curious.
All right, so what you would do is with those 2 level 4s, you'd Xyz summon into a Utopia.
Okay.
That's normal. But then, so is the C39 Utopia a dark monster?
Oh gosh, I don't know. Carlos, do you happen to know?
Let me search it up. Number C39.
Just regular C39.
I can't remember.
Utopia Ray or Utopia Ray V?
I think it's Ray.
So number C39, Utopia Ray is a light level 4. There's also C39 Utopia Ray Victory, which is a light level 5. So none of them are dark.
Now, actually, it doesn't say you have to summon. Oh, it just say you have to summon Utopia. Because my thought process was, if you could somehow summon a dark one, you use that rank up spell you get a search for to search it for the Phantom Knight rank up magic.
Oh yeah. Oh god.
Which would then bump it up by 1 to get you to the Zexal weapon.
Oh my god.
It's just really convoluted. You see, like you're having to like kind of create really weird avenues of play.
Yeah.
That isn't really ideal for the deck.
No, and that does make sense to me, absolutely. So they are definitely weaker, but again, that does kind of slow some things down. So I get that with how powerful they actually are. So you mentioned the quick up, rank up spell. I have it on the screen here. It says target one Xyz monster you control. Special summon from your extra deck one Utopia or ZW monster as one rank higher than the monster you control by using it as a material. And if you do, place one ZW or ZS monster from your deck on top of your deck. This card is always treated as an Xyz summon transfer and its materials to the summoned monster. And then the second effect, if your opponent's life points is at least 2,000 higher than yours, you can banish this card from your graveyard and get a draw. So, Carlos, is this the rank up card you're thinking of that people are definitely going to be playing?
Yeah, so this is the rank up card I was thinking about because it's the new support card. I just think, like, I really wish this card had a cost where you had to pay 2,000 life points. This card would be so good if it had a 2,000 life point cost, because then you could special summon the Utopia or the ZW monster, whatever you wanted to do.
Right.
Then you could you could place one on top of your deck, and then you could banish to draw the one you just placed, and then it would open up so many different avenues with your deck, because then you could like special summon the level level 5 ZW monster from your hand, and maybe if you can get on another level 5, you can go into the ZWXC's monster, then equip to the Utopia monster. So like they were one cost away from making this card pretty good, in my opinion.
Yeah.
The fact that it doesn't require you, I know it's a bit kind of weird to say, but the fact that it doesn't require you to pay life points to activate it kind of sucks.
Okay. Shadow Mew, do you agree with Carlos, or do you feel it's a good check on the deck?
Without the cost, it's still a good card, but if it did have that cost, it would be one of those things that I'm pretty sure it would get limited, but that doesn't really matter since, you can search it out.
Right.
With those two cards. But yeah, if it had the cost, it would be an ST, like a super card to have. You would always run 3 of it.
Yeah.
Without the cost, it's just you have a really easy way to get into any Utopia though. That is a rank higher.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah. Absolutely.
Oh wait, no, this actually faces the issue you were just talking about with getting the level 5 out, because it says a ZW monster also.
Yeah.
Yeah, but my thing is you'd be wasting that effect to get out the ZW monster. So you would have to either get out. Basically, you want this to spam out the monster that you saw at the beginning, the first Utopia monster.
Right.
And so my thinking is like the deck's too restrictive, because if you're relying on this card to rank up into one of the rank 5s, you only get one choice of the rank 5s you get. You can either get the Dragonic Utopia Ray, or you can get the ZW one that we just saw.
Right.
So it's kind of forcing you to choose an avenue to play, when the ideal avenue of play would be to get both of them on the field.
Oh gosh. Yeah, just the thought of that. Oh dear. Okay. Let's go ahead and talk about some of the other support here. So, do you like the trap that they have for this? I'll go ahead and read it for everyone. If a face-up Xyz monster or monsters you control is destroyed by battle or an opponent's card effect, pay life points so that you have 10 left. Special summon one Utopia monster from your graveyard, and if you do, place one card from your deck on top of your deck. The summon monster's attack becomes doubled. It cannot be destroyed by card effects. Also, it cannot be destroyed by battle except with another number monster.
I see why they didn't give that one card a cost.
Oh, say that again?
I think I see why they didn't give that one card a cost.
Okay, expand on that. Why do you feel that way?
Because you're going to get up to a 5,000 attack point monster if it resolves.
Yeah.
That can't be destroyed by battle it can't be destroyed by anything, but, we got all those cards that send. But in that situation where if this happens and you don't immediately die and they can't counter it, it is a really good card that just lets you OTK that next turn.
Yeah. I do like it, especially like Carlos, you were saying, for that anime-like feel. I had something like this one time with one of the Utopian monsters. where you pay your life points go all the way down to 10. And I was playing against Trickstars in a win a match game or win a mat tournament, and I almost got him. I literally blew up his whole field, took him down to just a few life points, but he was able to make the comeback. But it felt very anime-like. Do you think that's the purpose with this, to give that hype to the end of a duel, possibly?
I mean, I don't like cards that are kind of have an anime feel to it because typically they're not too good. I think this card is absolutely trash. Like the monster. Sure, it can't be destroyed by battle. I'm not sure. Can it also be destroyed, or it can't be destroyed by battle or card effect?
No.
You can literally out it with like a kaiju. Also, this card literally loses to Sparks, and I know Sparks is a meme in the Yu-Gi-Oh community. But think about it. You could literally have a Sparks, just activate Sparks. Or if you wanted to slap slap some salt in the wound, your opponent could overlay into Gagaga
Cowboy, right? Yeah.
And then they could burn you for 800. You played this trash card. So
I want to say, what are even the chances that you go against that one person that just happens to have Gaga Cowboys? Like, maybe he'll lower his life points down enough that I can actually resolve this effect and kill him. Oh, hey!
It would be like the most karma in the world. Like, it would be Yugioh karma to die from a Gaga midget or cowboy.
It's kind of funny that you say that, Shadow. At my last tournament I went to, I actually used the burn effect of Gaga Cowboy to win the duel.
Oh, God.
I always have the card in case I go into time.
Something I wanted to bring up during this week's tournament, I was playing. I'd have to pull up on the Discord, but I was playing a match against one of our competitors, and they had me down to I can't remember how many life points left. I think it was a human goldfish, and
oh man,
he had me down to like 500 life points or something really low.
Did he cowboy you?
No, he tried to go into Utopia double, but he tried to go into Utopia double, but I had Solemn Judgment, so I negated the double. And I won, and he was like, "Damn, I really wish I had Gaga Cowboy." And I was like, "Either way, I could have killed you."
Yeah, the Solemn would have stopped it no matter what. Yeah.
Quick comment on that is that the Weather Painters was the only one that gave me trouble in that entire tournament. my deck was unrivaled against everyone but that.
I like how we've got to throw that in. Oh, too funny, guys. Too funny. All right. Is there any more that we feel like we need to talk about? There are two more spells that I have here. Do you feel they stand out, Carlos, or do you feel that we could move on? What are you thinking?
Can you go to the other two spells? So that Zexal Construction, you can reveal one card in your hand if you do add one of the cards below from your deck to the hand. ZW monster, ZS monster, Zexal spell trap, rank up spell, rank down magic. I think that's a really cool card.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
It gives you access to your whole deck. So this is definitely a 3 of, even though you can only activate one of it per turn. It's a 3 of. It gets your engine.
Especially for the rank up magic spell. I could see other decks like Raid Raptors using that.
This card is a generic in every Xyz deck.
Absolutely.
Because it's just, I don't have Zexals? Okay, then that just means replace this word with, this card is this rank up magic that I need to go get.
Yeah, absolutely. And then it's easier to play certain. So, for example, where I see this possibly being a nightmare is Zexal, the card that just negates everything. Because there's plenty of decks that use that.
You can't.
Zexal? Future Zexal?
Yeah.
Now, the thing about that card is you can't actually rank up into it or rank down into it because it doesn't have a rank.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Okay.
However, its summoning requirement is still dumb, and it would 100% go in this deck, is you discard a rank up magic and use a Utopia you currently control to summon it.
Ah, gotcha now. Okay,
It's
that
actually
makes sense.
scarier in an actual Utopia deck than a Numeron deck.
Yes. Yeah.
Because you can get to a easy 4,000 attack Zexal without having to hit 5 summons.
Oh my gosh! Wow. Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
I hate the Numeron deck, man. That deck gives me.
It's too.
It stopped me from winning. Literally, I would have.
I know you were on your way to the 7-piece.
9 in a row.
I agree.
I would have been on 10 digits.
I would have gone first had it not been any other deck.
Oh, you guys are cracking me up.
Kaijus were slamming everything, but it's like, oh, Numeron Machine Go Bert.
Yeah, that was tough. It's a very interesting deck for sure. All right, well,
don't worry, I definitely found a counter for it.
Gate Blocker.
No, that's not the counter I'm thinking.
Okay, what were you thinking?
I'm not gonna
All right, that way if Just Ripper's watching, he won't know. All right,
joke's on you. I can think of 7.
Let's go ahead now and move on to something new here. It is a new summoning mechanic from the anime if you're doing rush duels. So it's called Maximum Summon. So Carlos, you saw this. We're gonna watch a clip here, just so everyone can see it real quick. Okay, so just a second. All right, this way everyone can see. All right, hopefully my audio's working. All right. That's creepy right there, but that's okay. All right, so let's go ahead and move back to our talk. Uh-oh. Hang on, I got to get that off. Just a second.
I would say, just looking at that looks like the fanboy dream of everyone who wanted to be able to shove Exodia pieces together and actually have a full art card.
All right, so sorry, I'm still laughing over the crazy laugh we just heard. All right,
you're fine.
So Carlos, how does it work? Do you know how it works exactly?
I want to preface this by saying, if you're currently watching Sevens or you don't like spoilers, please turn away because there are about to be a lot of spoilers. So please stop listening.
I haven't seen it yet, but I can guess how some of the stuff works just by seeing it.
Okay.
So it's not even just this. There's a lot that's been happening recently with the show that's been absolutely crazy. So this new summoning mechanic, I've watched episode 23, so I haven't watched the latest episode, which is 24. I'm not sure if they explain it more, but in episode 23, the main character Yugioh, I think that's his name, Yugioh.
Yeah, it's Yugioh.
He is dueling against Neil, who is like one of the major baddies, and he works for a corporation called Goha Corporation, and they basically they're a dictatorship, and so Neil works for them, and he's like one of the major baddies, and so Yuga's dueling him for the first time, and Neil pulls out this absolutely crazy thing. This crazy combo, really, where he's using cyber monsters, which I found interesting because this is the first time we're seeing cyber monsters outside of
that is interesting.
outside of brains. So he's using Cyberse monsters, and he like the whole point of his deck is just to discard the Cyberse monsters to keep drawing, and it's very clear that he's looking for a specific card or a set of card rather, and so he keeps discarding, he ends his turn. On his turn, he draws a card. He keeps discarding some more and drawing more, and then he finally has 3 cards in his hand. He summons all 3 cards, which in Yu-Gi-Oh! Sevens you're allowed to summon more than once a turn
Yes, right,
because
right.
of the rules. He summons all 3 cards, and they kind of merge together. I don't want to call it a fusion summon, but like almost a pseudo fusion, and they form one monster that has 4,000 attack and can attack 3 times,
Oh my
which is
gosh.
absolutely nuts.
Wow, that is
So
nuts. Yeah.
it seems to be that if you have a specific 3 cards, you can almost combine them together to make like a maximum monster that has greater stat value or attack value, and can attack more than once. So that's
Wow.
what it seems to be. Something else crazy that's in the show, which is major spoiler. I haven't watched this episode, but it looks like in this show, Seto Kaiba actually is in the show.
Oh, the hype that people will
So
feel to see him come back.
absolutely. So there's a character named Otis, and they spell it Otes. People didn't realize it was actually Seto spelled backwards, and he was using a blue eyes white dragon, which people thought was just coincidence. But people are actually thinking, or well, I haven't watched the episode, but apparently it's Seto Kaiba in Sevens.
Okay.
You mean like in the first episode where the AI thing pulls out of Blue Eyes?
Yeah, yes. So the AI is actually a hologram, and the character is actually a real character. And so I think the character is actually Seto.
Oh wow.
But it makes sense.
And so that means in this universe, Yugi and Joey must exist, and all the characters from Yu-Gi-Oh must exist, which is really, really interesting.
Oh, absolutely.
From the
People
original
would love
cast,
to
at
see
least.
that. They'd love to see those characters all unite. That's why the movies are still popular. People like it. When a new movie comes out, they all go watch it. Yeah, I'd be all for it.
I love me a good theory. I got one for you. Obelisk is now he's using obviously reverse anagram of Seto. What's to say it's not actually Mokuba though?
Oh.
Well, I haven't watched the episode, so I wouldn't know. But I saw a spoiler online that was really suggestive that it was Seto.
Because the world in that, from what I saw, is a lot more advanced than the world of Yu-Gi-Oh. Even if that movie where all the Valkyries and stuff showed up.
Yeah.
I do agree, but you're literally talking about an anime where the main character, or Seto, literally built a spaceship, and he also built a time machine just so he could go back in time and duel
the Pharaoh.
The Pharaoh. It's awesome. Yes. I love it. I'd love to see how the duel turned out. Because we know the original Yugi deck is trash. So I'd love to see how it comes out. So that'd be very interesting. Do you think, Carlos, do you think that this new summoning mechanic will be purely just for rush duels, or could we see it come over into the traditional format?
I absolutely see it just being a rush duel thing, just because as currently constituted, you couldn't possibly do this in regular Yu-Gi-Oh. It's the gimmick for the show, and they've spent 20 something episodes building up to this gimmick, so it's finally good to see that they finally have a kind of way they're going towards, or something they're trying to build towards, at least a story.
Awesome. Shadow Mew, your thoughts?
Yeah, now this is 100% gonna stick to rush duels, just because we kind of already have our own version of maximum summing. It's called spam. Yeah. Who needs to attack 3 times when you can just make it so your opponent can't do anything?
Oh, it's so true. All right, and shout outs to W Slasher's YouTube channel for that video. I appreciate that we were able to use that. So the next thing that we've got, speaking of speed duel or rush duels, now we're going to speed duels here. Carlos, you came across this. What is going on here with this box set?
I'm gonna be honest. I hate speed duels. Me too,
man. I just don't care for them. Yeah, go ahead though.
normally I'm not interested in the product in the slightest, but this box right here, this box is really cool. So let me tell you what this box is. This is the new Speed Duel Battle City box, and what happens is it's $30 for a box, right? And
Okay.
in the box comes 8 different decks where you and 8 different people can pick up a deck and play a mini Battle City tournament, right?
Oh, that
And
is cool. Wow.
and then even better is you get a pack of 8 secret rares, right? 3 of which are always guaranteed to be the 3 Egyptian gods, right? And then you get 5 other secret rares that are random. And the idea is you each pick a deck at the start of the tournament, right? You each pick a random card, a random secret rare. So someone could get an Egyptian god, someone could get one of the other random secret rares, and you guys do a simulated Battle City tournament where whoever loses has to give up their best card, i.e., their secret rare,
Oh,
to the other
wow.
person. And so it's literally a
Wow.
Battle City, but in speed duels, which is amazing.
Oh, that's awesome.
Mhm. So
Shadow Mew, would you like to see something like this released in the traditional format and then see competitive play?
I would love to pick this up as a little party thing with my friends. I don't think it's
Yes.
going to be a competitive thing, but it'd be like a nice little fun. You and your friends get this, and then be like, "Aha, take that."
That's exactly what it's supposed to be. It's just a
Yes.
casual thing, so you and your friends could kind of play casual Yu-Gi-Oh together, which I love. Something else I love: some of the secret rares that they're reprinting are awesome. Like, so you're guaranteed each Egyptian God card as a secret rare, right?
Okay.
But you can also pull a secret rare Jinzo. You could pull a secret rare Dark Paladin, a secret
Oh,
rare
wow.
XYZ Dragon Cannon, a secret rare Reinforcement of the Army, Cosmic Cyclone, just a whole bunch of really cool cards. I'm really excited that Jinzo is getting another secret rare pinning. I think that's absolutely amazing,
Yeah.
and I personally wanted to pick this up just so I can try to get a secret rare Jinzo.
Well, for me personally, I think I'd like it for my family. So all my children duel. And so if we just picked, and they've got friends that duel too. It'd be fun if they're all over and they're just doing something like this. This is a great product. Um,
Absolutely, and you could even use it for, say, your students.
yes. Oh, yeah, you're right. That would be absolutely
Mhm.
fantastic, especially that it comes with the decks already in there. What a great recess game, where
Well,
they'd continue it each day. Oh, I love the idea.
so what I'm gonna do, actually, is I'm planning to pick up 3, which I know is a little bit overkill, but I wanted a playset of each of the Egyptian God cards. But also, I wanted to hunt down the secret rare Jinzo, and I wanted to get 3 of each of the decks, so I could kind of like optimize each deck, so it's not just like the worst version of the deck,
Yeah.
and it's kind of like the optimal version.
That's awesome. I just really like it. I hope Konami does something like this more. Because I think that's one of the hardest things for players is they want decks they can play. And I do like the legendary deck set that came out, the dragon decks that came out, where you got 3 structure decks essentially. That's fun because you could just duel with someone there on the spot. This takes it to the next level, and boy, I hope they do this more. I think people would go to a tournament, and if they don't have people that they can play, they could do it there. I just think this is a great idea. More of this is
Something
better.
Something else I really love about this is technically you could do this with 2 people. So if you each split up, so you each have 4 decks, you guys could duel all the way. You guys could duel against each other using the different decks all the way up to the final.
Oh my gosh, I love this idea. Oh my
Exactly.
goodness.
So it's not limited to like, oh, you get this product if you have only 8 friends. You can play this product with any number of people. It's just an amazing product in my opinion.
Oh, I love it. Shadow Mew,
If
your
we
thoughts?
Yeah, this is gonna be a real fun casual thing that comes out just because of that. But also, I finally get to give Joey the justice he deserves. Kaiba was just being a dick.
Oh my gosh, you are cracking me up. Oh my goodness.
However, I would say that also with this is if you because because of the obvious woohoo virus that you can't speak about or else you get copyrighted. That if enough of your friends had the game Tabletop Simulator, you could also just recreate this in that game.
Yeah, you're
And
right.
you can play online too.
It's funny you say that. Zero, who's part of our tournaments, he just mentioned he wished he had something like this. That is a solution. I like that. That's a great solution.
Yes. Tabletop Simulator is also pretty cheap. It's like $5 to $10, and it's on sale pretty often.
Awesome. Man, what a great product. Thank you, Carlos, for bringing this up, and Shadow Mew for the ideas. That is terrific. Okay, and now we're moving on to the very last part of the podcast here, which is the expensive spike that has happened with Yu-Gi-Oh cards online. This is just shocking to me, what some of these are starting to go for. And I have an article here, and it was very recently written, just on the 11th here, and it's showcasing that we have certain cards just skyrocketing. So, for example, this Blue Eyes here went for $85,000 on eBay. The Cyberstein ended up going for $30,100. The Shonen Jump prize card here, the Des Valst Golf, I don't know how you say it, almost $10,000. The Dark Magician Ghost Rare from Japan, it went for almost $9,000. And so you really are seeing this huge spike. Even something that's recent here, like the 10,000 Dragon, it went double the price it goes for on TCG. It went for $2,500. So, Carlos, you had a theory as to why you see this spike happening right now. Why do you think this is occurring?
First of all, I want to shout out 10,000 Dragon. That's the most expensive Yu-Gi-Oh card I've ever owned, and I will probably never beat that.
Yeah, that's amazing. Absolutely. And it's beautiful. I still can't believe you pulled it. That's awesome.
No, I can't either, because I opened 4 boxes of Battles of Legend Armageddon. Sorry about the side story. I just wanted to share my
No, you're fine. You're fine. I love the side stories. That's what makes it fun.
I opened 4 boxes of Battles of Legend Armageddon, and I'm be honest, I wasn't trying to hunt this down because, like, I know it's a long shot. I was trying to hunt down Invocation, and I didn't pull a single Invocation.
Yeah, so but then you got this, and you could buy tons of Invocation.
Listen. So I was very pissed, and the first box I opened was pretty bad. And then the next 3 boxes were literally duplicates. I didn't get anything out of my 4 boxes. So I was pretty mad, right? And then one day I was in Meyer with my girlfriend, and I was looking at like the Battles of Legends section.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, there was like maybe 8 or so packs left. I was like, should I buy it out? And she was like, nah, don't do it. The set's been terrible to you. And I was like, oh, okay, that's fair. And so we left. The next day we came back. There were 3 packs left. And so I was like, do you want to get these for me? And she was like, okay, I'll get them for you. And so she grabs the 3 packs, right? But then as we're leaving, she notices there's a pack kind of shoved in between like one of the Pokemon products.
Oh my gosh.
It was in the back hidden, right? And so she's like, oh, we'll take this too. We open the packs and like, true story. We opened the packs, and the pack that was hidden had the 10,000 Dragon, Starlight, 10,000 Rare, whatever you want to call it, in the pack, which was absolutely amazing.
Wow. Wow. That's awesome.
So you issued me a challenge to pull it, and surely enough, my girlfriend blessed me with the best pull ever.
I wish I was that lucky, man.
Amazing is I literally told her the day before, like, hey, should I buy these packs? And she's like, no, definitely don't. Someone bought a few of them, and then the next day I bought the rest.
Wow.
And it had the 10,000. So I was that close to not having a 10,000.
That is amazing. Absolutely amazing. Go ahead and explain your theory though now. Why do you think we're suddenly seeing a jump in these prices?
Yeah, absolutely. So I have 2 theories, and they're kind of intertwined. So the first thing is that every time there is a kind of depression Yu-Gi-Oh cards for some reason seem to shoot up in value. This happened about 2008 when there was a the Great Housing Depression, and the stock market crashed. Yu-Gi-Oh cards, surprisingly enough, held on to the values. And actually, a lot of the times they started to increase exponentially. And so my thought process behind that is there's a lot of people with deep pockets invested in this card game.
Yeah.
And when competitive play isn't so well because of either bad stock market or in our case the pandemic that we can't talk about.
Right.
People want to find the people with massive amounts of money want to find other ways
to
invest
that money.
So instead of like focusing on meta buyouts that would normally happen, they're focusing on collectors buyouts for the long term that they can buy now, hold on to the cards, and then make a big buck in the future. And so that's why we're seeing a lot of these. In my opinion, we're seeing a lot of these kind of cards get bought out. Another reason why we're seeing a lot of these cards get bought out is I'm not sure if you guys are aware, but a lot of big social media influencers are kind of getting into Pokemon. Personally, I'm not. I don't play the trading card game Pokemon. I'm not really into Pokemon, but I know there's a rapper called Logic, and then Logan Paul and Jake Paul, who are like famous YouTubers or whatever. They recently got into Pokemon, and apparently that's caused an absolute boon with that card game.
Oh, it has.
So those cards are starting to go absolute crazy, and like Pokemon cards everywhere are starting to get bought out. So I'm not sure if maybe there's a correlation where people are like, okay, this card game, it's pretty profitable. Some of the cards are going for tens of thousands of dollars.
Absolutely.
And then some people are like, what else could we invest in? And they're looking at other card games that have kind of similar cult followings, and they naturally kind of land on Yu-Gi-Oh as a kind of alternative.
It's interesting you bring that up with the Pokemon side of things with the social media. I have noticed celebrities doing that. A friend of mine, her boyfriend, he had some Pokemon cards just in old binders and in old plastic bags. He had that expensive Charizard card that goes for like 14 grand, or it went for 14 grand recently. And literally I told her, I will come and get you a sleeve. You've got to make sure that thing is protected. And so there was a little bit of wear and tear on it, but not enough that it's not going to still go for a high price. So she brought me the binder, and I'm helping her calculate it. She's up to $3,000 right now. And so and they almost gave them away as a gift, the cards, to someone who plays the Pokemon game. So say that again, Shadow Mew.
He would have lost it when he was like, oh my God.
I know. Could you imagine? That's what I was going to ask you, Shadow Mew. I know you play Pokemon. Are you seeing a spike in that community as well?
I haven't checked the prices on a lot of them, but from the cards that I did have, it makes sense that they're going up. It's unlike Magic and Yu-Gi-Oh! Pokemon cards are pretty consistent with their prices.
Yes.
Because Pokemon has a set rotation in its format, unlike Yu-Gi-Oh!, which Yu-Gi-Oh! Wouldn't function if it had that. But set rotation is new set comes out. There's these really good cards in it. Those become expensive. But Pokemon has an unlimited and a legacy version where you can use all these other cards from the other sets in that set.
Yeah.
So whether or not they're a collector's card or not, they're still able to be used, which still gives them value in those specific tournaments.
Yeah.
And then when you look at Magic has a format called Commander, where it basically has the loosest ban list you have ever seen.
Oh, it does. Yes, I agree with you on that. Keep going,
It would be like, if you were to compare the Magic Commander ban list to the Yu-Gi-Oh ban list, you would have what's a really good ban card?
Pot of Greed. You would have Pot of Greed at 3.
Oh my gosh! Think how scary that would be.
You'd
my goodness!
You'd have Pots of Greed at 3. You'd have that one pot that's the other pot that's banished.
Wow.
Banished bans. You'd have all those tuners that got banned. Those would all be allowed because you're only allowed to have one of them.
Wow. So it'd be like the advanced format. Wow,
Yes.
that is something. My goodness. Which I don't know anyone that plays that. Or is it traditional? Which one only allows you to have one of each kind in the banned list?
So in Commander, it's different. You mean
in Yu-Gi-Oh?
I think it's traditional.
Traditional, that's the one. Gotcha. Which again, I know nobody that does that.
But yes, but with all these cards going up in price, it is just that people are buying them out in hopes of reselling them for later.
Yeah, and I think it's causing a spike to occur in a lot of different markets. I was talking with Casey about this, and he had mentioned sellers are actually taking some cards off and waiting to see how high they can go and then putting them back on, which actually accelerates things even more. Thankfully, I don't think Yu-Gi-Oh is going to have that too much because a lot of these cards are much older or very rare. But in other trading card games, I'm just curious what that effect will be. And also, again, if you're buying cards, guys, TCG is the way to go. I just feel sometimes the eBay market is higher. So I would definitely suggest check TCG Player first before you go to eBay. Even though there have been many times I have found some really good deals on eBay, but you got to hunt for them. So, sorry, go ahead.
eBay is a little more sketchy because it doesn't have the buyer protection program that TCG does.
Exactly. Yes.
I got a little screwed when I was selling stuff because it got damaged in the mail, and that person was able to file it, and I had to give him a refund for all the cards that I sold him.
I would have been livid because that takes time to put all those listings together.
But yeah, TCG protects the buyer, so if you want to buy things, go right ahead.
Wow. No, so again, I appreciate those. I appreciate that feedback. Let's go. But that is going to do it now for our podcast, guys. Again, a special thank you to Carlos here, aka Obelisk Blue, Golden Lord, Yugioh. Again, I'm going to quickly put their information up here. I'd love to see you guys follow them, and also. Shadow Mew, thank you so much for filling in last second. It was a pleasure to have you on. If you guys like Minecraft, Pokemon, and Yu-Gi-Oh, he's got lots of those things on his channel, even though it looks like he's saying here 16 hours ago he's taking a break. But
no, I'm taking a break from one specific thing. I'll take a break from one specific thing.
Okay, great.
I'm still doing it.
So, again, guys, thank you so much for being on the program. We appreciate it. All right. Thank you so much, guys. If you made it to this point of the podcast, we hope that you enjoyed it. If you did enjoy it, please hit that like button, and we'll see you guys next time.